To my friends on the South Shore, you're welcome. Let's go, Brandon.
All right, guys. So once again, Joe Manchin, right? The blue dog Democrat, okay? The centrist Democrat, the moderate Democrat from West Virginia has pissed off the progressives and the Democrat Party. And the reason why is because he basically went on Fox News this morning and told Brett Baier that it is a no for him in regards to voting for Biden's Build Back Better plan, right? As they're trying to get this bill on the Senate floor for a vote to potentially try to get it passed so Biden can sign it and complete his Build Back Better agenda, the bipartisan infrastructure bill and the families plan, okay? The social spending that Biden wants to do. So without further ado, I actually want to show Joe Manchin speaking with Brett Baier about this, telling him why he is opposed to this bill. And then I want to show Bernie Sanders' response to what Joe Manchin is saying. And then I want to give my commentary. Take a look.
You're at the center of this negotiation with the president over his social spending and tax bill, the Build Back Better bill that is not coming up in the Senate before the new year, in part largely because of your reservations. Without you, the leadership doesn't have the votes it needs. So today, right now, what's the state of play?
Well, Brett, you know, this is a mammoth piece of legislation, and I had my reservations from the beginning when I heard about it 5.5 months ago, and I've been working diligently every day and every minute of every day. I've been working on this, meeting with, whether it be the President Biden, whether it be Majority Leader Schumer and his staff, whether it would be with Nancy Pelosi, all of my colleagues, I mean, from all different spectrums of the political spectrum, if you will, from the right to the left. I've done everything humanly possible. And you know my concerns I had, and I still have these concerns. And where I'm at right now, the inflation that I was concerned about, it's not transitory, it's real, it's harming every West Virginian. It's making it almost difficult for them to continue to go to their jobs, the cost of gasoline, the cost of groceries, the cost of utility bills. All of these things are hitting in every aspect of their life. And you start looking at, then you have the debt that we're carrying at $29 trillion. You have also the geopolitical unrest that we have. You have the COVID variant, and that is wreaking havoc again. People are concerned. I've been with my family. I know everyone's concerned. So when you have these things coming at you the way they are right now, I've always said this, Brett, if I can't go home and explain it to the people of West Virginia, I can't vote for it. And I cannot vote to continue with this piece of legislation. I just can't. I've tried everything humanly possible. I can't get that.
Well, I think he's going to have a lot of explaining to do to the people of West Virginia, to tell them why he doesn't have the guts to take on the drug companies and lower the cost of prescription drugs, why he is not prepared to expand home health care. West Virginia is one of the poorest states in this country. You got elderly people and disabled people who would like to stay at home or forced into nursing homes. He's going to have to tell the people of West Virginia why he doesn't want to expand Medicare to cover dental, hearing, and eyeglasses. I've been to West Virginia a number of times, and it's a great state, beautiful people, but it is a state that is struggling.
All right, guys, so you've seen that, you heard that, okay? Joe Biden gave a number of reasons for why he's opposed to this bill, okay? He cited inflation, he talked about the virus, he talked about spending, he talked about debt, he talked about all that stuff, okay? All of which I think, I don't necessarily know where the virus thing comes from, but all of which I think are some legitimate reasons for being opposed to this bill. Because the Democrats try to pretend like this is not a Trojan horse for more deficit spending in the future, when there's been research out there that shows that this bill is actually going to increase the deficit, and it's going to do that over the long run, especially if you end up expanding some of these temporary programs like the so-called child tax credit, which is really just UBI for parents with kids. If you end up extending that permanently, right? If you end up extending a lot of these temporary programs on the Democrats permanently, then yeah, I mean, it's gonna cost us some money, okay? And we're in a position right now in our country where we cannot continue to keep spending trillions and trillions of dollars on these social programs that we just can't afford, right? So from a fiscally conservative perspective, I'm with Joe Manchin on that. Now, some people say that Joe Manchin is corrupt, right? They're saying that, well, he's doing this because he's in the pockets of the coal companies, and he got some family corruption going on. I've heard all types of things, mainly coming from the left, in regards to why Joe Manchin is doing this. They're saying he's not necessarily a good person, right? In my opinion, I can't really speak on that. I'm going to take Joe Manchin at his word for it. And one of the reasons why I'm going to take Joe Manchin his word for it, for his reasons for why he doesn't want to do it, is because ultimately, at the end of the day, the polls indicate that Joe Manchin is doing what his voters want him to do, right? So let's actually read this, right? Let's actually get into the numbers here in regards to how West Virginians actually feel about Joe Biden versus Joe Manchin, and how they feel about Joe Biden's agenda. Okay, let's get into the numbers, because this is going to be a direct opposition to what progressives like Bernie Sanders are trying to imply about Joe Manchin, which is that he's not working in the best interest of his people, or that he's not doing what his state wants him to do. Okay, and it's funny how they never cite poll numbers as to how West Virginians actually feel about it. And you're going to quickly realize why they never do that. They just say stuff without actually backing it up. This is from November 15th, so basically a month ago. This is still fresh. New survey results show President Joe Biden's rating is low among West Virginians, while more than half of the state's residents strongly approve of Governor Jim Justice's job performance. Now, Jim Justice is a Republican, by the way, okay? So we're talking about a state with a Republican governor and a Democratic senator in Joe Manchin. Mark Blankenship of MBE Research recently conducted an independent poll on political figures in the Mountain State. Biden's overall approval rating was 32% and disapproval rating was 65%. Quote, "It's not a shock he lost West Virginia badly," Blankenship said on Monday's Metro News talk line, citing the 2020 election results. The president hit a new low nationally, according to a separate ABC News Washington Post poll out Monday that shows 41% of Americans approve and 53% disapprove of his job performance. So people in West Virginia simply don't like Joe Biden all that much, right? And if they don't like Joe Biden, they probably don't like his agenda either, okay? So let's read a little bit more here. Almost half of voters, 53% strongly disapprove. So the intensity with which they disapprove is the only real surprising thing, he said. About 69% of West Virginia voters are applauding Governor Jim Justice for his work since taking office in 2017. His disapproval rating was 28%. Again, so we have a swing state here, right? A state that seems to me to be pretty red right now. Okay, if you had an election today, they would probably be pretty red. Okay, in which the Republican governor has a strong approval rating, almost 70%. And the president of the United States has a low approval rating. Again, you're trying to tell me that these people want what Joe Biden is trying to push on America? I don't think so. But let's read here. We might get some direct numbers on this. Quote, "When you think about what he has endured, the party switch, budget issues, COVID, he got his businesses back on track, all of these things that he's had to deal with and still maintain a sky-high approval rating, I think that says something about his resiliency," Blankenship said. U.S. Senator Joe Manchin has an overall job approval rating of 60% compared to Biden's 32%. Wait, so the people of West Virginia approve of Joe Manchin at a rate of 60%. 60% approval in West Virginia. So West Virginians are in agreement with what Joe Manchin is doing. And up until this point, Joe Manchin's basically opposed everything Biden's doing except his COVID stimulus package. And the people of West Virginia are saying, yeah, we like that, right? We're cool with that. That's what the numbers say. Quote, "Voters want to be listened to. When they feel like you're listening to them, they will reward that either at the polls or in numbers like this," Blankenship said. I think that's what recognized here is that Senator Manchin is listening to the people of West Virginia. The MBE research poll also found 78% of voters said they support Senator Joe Manchin and Shelley Moore Capito working together in a bipartisan effort to pass the National Infrastructure Bill to address roads, bridges, power, and other needs. Wait, hold on. So the actual bill that Joe Manchin did vote on with Biden, right, the one that he didn't oppose, I forgot about that one. the bipartisan infrastructure bill, Manchin went along with it. And guess what? Almost 80% of the voters in that state are like, yeah, we agree with that, right? Again, this is a swing state that seems to be leaning pretty red, okay? Nearly 74% of voters also said Manchin should oppose the president's Build Back Better plan. Bam. Ding, 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 ding. So Joe Manchin approved Biden's agenda that his voters actually wanted, right? Almost 80% of them wanted that. He said, okay, yeah, I'll vote for that. He's not in favor of Biden's agenda that his voters don't want, that 74% of them say, no, we don't want this. But yet Bernie Sanders is going on TV talking about how Joe Manchin is going to have to answer to his voters as if Joe Manchin's voters in West Virginia actually want Biden's agenda. They actually don't. So what does he have to answer for? The only thing he has to say is that, yeah, I'm just doing what y'all want. And that's literally what the numbers are indicating. But again, this is the Democrats once again trying to tell people what's best for them, right? As if they don't know what's best for them. They always come out here and try to talk down on West Virginia and West Virginians, right? Saying, oh, your state is so bad, it's so poor, you need this, you need this, you need it. But the voters are telling you, no, we don't need it. We really don't need it. We don't want it, okay? And then they're trying to act like Joe Manchin is some bad person because he's literally acting in the best interest of his state. He's doing what his voters want him to do, what they voted for him to do, okay? And that's how democracy is supposed to work, right? These same people come out here and want to talk about, oh, democracy. But yet democracy is literally working right now. What a senator from West Virginia is doing what his voters are telling him to do, and they're complaining about it, right? I guess democracy doesn't matter anymore when the people of West Virginia are saying that we don't want this, right? Throw democracy out the window when it comes to being opposed to the Democrats' agenda. But this is the reason why I was saying that the Biden administration, including Kamala, they can't do anything about Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema and what they're doing because they are from swing states where their voters simply don't agree with Biden's agenda in this Build Back Better plan. They don't want it. So they can't really primary them for it because their voters are in agreement with it, right? So there's nothing they can do. The only thing that they can do is try to tailor the plan or to try to change the plan enough so that the people of West Virginia and Arizona actually want to get on board with it. That's the only thing that they can do. That's it. That's the only thing they can do. But it seems to me that, hey, maybe the people of West Virginia, maybe the people of Arizona, maybe they're like Elon Musk. Maybe they just want to delete the whole thing. Maybe they don't want it at all. And that, to me, seems to be the reason why Joe Manchin, Kyrsten Sinema, this whole time have seen it indicated that they don't really want it at all. They don't want to do any of that. So, at this point, Biden's agenda is dead. I mean, this is a hard no, right? There's going to be more progressives crying about this. Expect AOC and Ilhan Omar and Cory Bush to come out here and say a whole bunch of stuff about, democracy being under attack or white supremacy or something like that. But they can keep crying about it. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.